What's it costing you to live, to feed you and your family? Gas prices, energy prices, grocery bills. Lord forbid you have a medical emergency or something that takes you to a doctor. All that stuff's costing more money, and it's going to be even more harder to get things. So all that stuff's going to be a source of stress. But you should be excited about learning this, because you're going to have something that the majority of most people aren't going to have: hope. You'll have hope. You'll have the ability to know that whatever happens at your job, and whatever they say, well, we can't really do anything to raise you up because we can't afford to do any kind of raise now. You didn't get the promotion you were looking for to make more money. You won't have any grief about that, because what you're doing is you're building an empire. You don't realize it right now, but you're building a fucking empire. You might be working a job right now, doing things you don't like, making a little bit of money, struggling right now. Everybody's been there. But I didn't lose hope. I was cussing and ranting and raving the whole time I had to do it, wanting to quit the extra job I was working. But I knew unless I did this, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change unless you put your feet to the ground and say, I'm digging my heels in. I know it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to have pushback. I know it's going to be requiring me to put time into it. When all my friends are out there running around and clubbing and doing this and chasing tail and doing this and doing that and drinking and having fun on the weekends, I'm going to be in these charts studying. I'm going to be living my life differently. But they're still going to be out there trying to chase tail, broke as fuck, driving a beater fucking car, and ain't doing shit in their life. And you'll be able to pull down annual fucking salaries on a week. You can't even imagine where you're going to be. You can't even imagine it. Whatever you think is your level of success, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. You have no idea when you strip all these limitations that you put on yourself. You shackle yourself with your own mindset. You do it. This is all I can see myself doing right now. When you start making $100,000 a year, you start thinking to yourself, well, shit, that wasn't all that hard. I thought it was really hard. Well, now I'm going to aim for $500,000. And the attempts that you do to do that, you get there in less than half the time. Then you start thinking, well, shit, they say the first $1 million is the hardest one. I'm about there. Boom, in a couple more months, and then you're there. Then you look back and say, $1 million isn't all that much money. And yeah, it took some effort, but it didn't take as much effort as I thought it was going to take. And then you start making 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, 50 million. And I know I'm talking in numbers none of you can fucking comprehend, but it is what it is, folks. It's just math. It's just math. You're compounding the efforts of what you're able to do on the smallest form. But all this concern that things are going to change and it's going to be made impossible for you to be able to do it, because I'm bringing all these other individuals into the mix. It doesn't change it. You have no idea how deep this market is. It's a lot of money in this marketplace. I could have millions of followers and it isn't going to change anything. The market's going to do what the market's going to do, period. Whenever you have adversity in this, you need to dig your fucking heels in. I am not leaving. I'm not going to motherfucking place. This is just a speed bump, and this is something that's saying you aren't worthy, and I am fucking worthy. You're worthy. You are fucking destined to do this. You are absolutely. You ended up here for that very reason. That's a testament. You're meant to do this. I didn't advertise. I didn't trick you with some fucking advertisement on Facebook or YouTube. I don't run ads. The testimonials are organic. It's real. And that's how you ended up here. So don't cheat yourself out of the opportunity to do this right. Now fucking imagine, okay? You're in the Maldives. It's 5 years from fucking now. You're kicking back. You're thinking, you know what? That fucking ICT, yeah, that's a hell of a fucking guy. He came out there and literally fucking smoked everything out there for free. And look at the lifestyle I'm living right now. I gotta send that motherfucker a tweet. Dude, I'm over here right now, soaking up the sun on this fucking grass hut motherfucking thing floating around in this beautiful turquoise water. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for the new lifestyle that you had a small part in building for me. Thank you. You know what? I'm gonna fucking walk around my fucking house like a fucking peacock, dance around, showing my moves like fucking Jagger, and my wife's gonna slap me upside the head and say, shut the fuck up. Okay? But I don't care. That's what I'm looking forward to. I know where all of you potentially could end up. You just don't see it yet. You don't see that yet. But I know it. I fucking know it. I'm not making shit up on the fly. It's the same shit all the time. All the time. It's the same thing repeating over and over again. It's going to have slight little variances to it. Over time, you will start to see them and recognize, oh, it's still the same thing. And some of you have been experiencing it. Students that have gone through mentorship, they have experienced it. They make real fucking money. They don't give a shit whether you believe them or not. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. None of that matters. Their life is completely and permanently fucking changed for the positive. They don't give a rat's ass. Who's making videos about what? Who's talking about what? They don't give a shit. When you start making money, be honest now. Tweet me right now. Who's going to be the one that gives a fuck what anybody else thinks when you start making bank? Name the person you're going to give a fuck about hearing from when you start making 6 figures a year. Who's going to be the person that's going to make you feel bad about doing that? Is there anybody you can name? Because chances are you're probably typing nobody. Yep, nobody. That's the person that's going to influence you. Because none of this is going to matter. Anybody's opinion about what you're doing when you're being successful matters not. You'll know that moment when you are absolutely comfortable going in and assuming real risk. You'll never need to ask me. You'll know. It won't be overconfidence. It'll be sheer boredom that you know that once you start doing this, you're going to make money. You won't be perfect. You'll have losing trades, but that losing trade will not change your mind about what you're doing. Your model still works. Think, folks, if you're worrying about money, you have a full-time job in fear, and it doesn't pay well. It gives you ulcers, it gives you stress, it's toxic, it makes you miserable to be around. And I'm telling you how to change all that. Because if you don't change that mindset and start seeing how this is obtainable, your model need not be complicated. Even though you might look at what I'm teaching and see how intricate it could be and sophisticated in many ways, it need not be that way for you. Look what I've been able to do with last year's model. And you can simplify everything that I teach just like that. You don't want to get lucky. You don't want to have a lottery win beginning of your learning. You want it rough. It will give you the proper mindset. It'll show you how you can fail if giving yourself over to impulsive tendencies, an undisciplined mindset. And all those things are easily overcome if you just simply let down your guard and let your real self step forward and say, okay, I'm comfortable being vulnerable right now because I know it's good medicine. Where are my weaknesses right now? What are the things that are scary to me? What are my fearful thoughts? What are my reasons for doubting my future success? What are the things that I'm feeling inside? What are other people saying about me that are weighing on me heavily? And when you have this skill set, you're going to feel exactly what I feel. And some of you that are weaker and younger, you're going to do the same shit I did when I was 20-some years old. I was the biggest dick, the biggest prick there ever was. But you're going to feel what it feels like to know what you know. And nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can make you forget about it. They can't discount it. They can't say it doesn't work. Who gives a fuck how many people are going to doubt you? Listen, you start making $50,000 a fucking month. How many people will it take for you to be convinced that what you're doing is bullshit? How many people will it take for you to be convinced that you making over 6 figures every 6 fucking months consistently? How many people will it take for them to convince you that what you're doing is a waste of your fucking time? How many people does it take you to do that? There ain't enough. There ain't enough.